Howdy everybody, welcome to wing video. I forget what number it is, but we're working on the gap fairings still. And this is finishing up the gap fairings. And it's pretty easy. I have a couple of questions and tips that I share in this video with the gap fairings. So as always, if you have better ideas than I do, please feel free to share them. Because I am not an expert at this stuff. The gap fairings were pretty easy. They were kind of time consuming just because they're big and long and there's a lot of rivets, but other than that, they weren't too bad. And there are no new tools for this particular video. It's all standard stuff that you have and have used many a times. The left wing, I have it completely attached to the top skin. I'm gonna have to get it situated on the rear spar here, but it's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Okay, still working on the flap gap fairing and aileron gap fairing on the right wing this time. I've completed it on the left wing. I'm not sure how much video I got of that, but these things. And they make it look really nice. And they make the top of the skin look really nice, so not bad at all. There are a couple of things I will point out that are not fun. It's actually really easy. 98% of the rivets are very easy to do. They're just the 470 rivets. You set your squeezer to the right height and you just kind of move down the thing. It's pretty easy. A couple things I wanted to point out. This rivet right next to your flap or aileron hinge bracket, the one that has a, I'm not sure if it's a service bulletin or a, I forget, it's somewhere. When they sent me the kit, it came with an extra piece to do these, to do the angle irons, and there's a couple angle irons underneath here to stop the cracking. So I did that with this guy. The only problem is it was, the fix was designed for if you had already had this all together and that rivet was already done, and then it wouldn't matter, you would be able to get to it, and then you would cut this guy back here, and so you could get to the ones back there. But needless to say, I didn't have these guys in there, so that rivet next to this guy, and I'm going to show you this, and you're going to say, oh, that's bad. And I'm going to say, yes, I agree with you, that is bad. But then I'm going to ask, how do you fix it? How is it possible to even get that guy in there? The only way I know of doing it would be to drill this guy out and put in a Cherry Max rivet, which I will probably do. But if you have other ideas, please let me know. So I will put a light on the situation here, and then I will show you my wonderful artwork. Okay, you see it there? I got half the rivet, well, 80% of the rivet, but you can't get a bucking bar close enough to this edge right here to actually get that rivet in. So needless to say, that's one thing I'm going to have to fix. So that one was difficult. Nothing else was really that difficult. These ones, so these are the countersunk ones that go over here. And that's why I did the countersink ones this way on this, was because these were countersunk. So I figured I don't know what I figured. I was guessing because the plans are so tiny I couldn't even see. But it calls for the 426 4-8 rivets, which are rather big. But I have, for this one in particular, you got the rib, you got rib right here, you got spar, you got 2 of these big thick pieces and this, all of them with primer on them. I think the 4-8 would be perfectly fine without primer. Primer just adds a little hair of a space, and you multiply that primer times, you know, the backside of this, both sides of this, both sides of this, both sides of this, and both sides of this. And now that 4-8, 426 4-8 rivet is just, it's close, but I think it's a little bit off. So I used a 4-9. And you know, you have your little spacer, and the 4 rivets are supposed to, you know, just kind of fill up that hole and be not less than the thickness of this guy. And it was definitely not filling up that hole. And so I couldn't really squeeze it anymore, so I drilled that guy out on the other one. And I didn't actually have any 4-9s. I had 4-11s that I cut down to be 4-9s. But I would put 4-9s. If I was doing it, I would put 4-9s in these guys, especially this guy and this guy, because they have the ribs. The other one's 4-8 works okay. It's close enough that I think it's okay. But the 2 rib ones definitely need to be a little bit longer. So that's it for the Gap Fairings, and I'll just continue to work on those. And so that was a whole bunch of information about the rivets that you put into the Gap Fairing and the aileron hinge bracket there. Not a whole lot else kind of goes on. They're all pretty standard at this point. You just rivet those 470s into the spar and you're good to go. Pretty easy, not too hard at all. Oh, and I don't know if I told you, this first one closest to the inboard flap bracket, this guy right here, you have to buck with your gun and your bucking bar. So just FYI. So there you go. That is all of the 470s on the bottom done. Now I just got all the ones inside the from the wing skin, and then the 4-8s, the countersunk ones over here, the 426s. And that's it. Deal. So I'm going to finish up riveting the gap fairing to the skin there, and while I'm doing that, I will share a joke. So what do you call it when a snowman throws a tantrum? A meltdown. Oh man. Okay, one more. You ready? Here we go. So what concert costs just 45 cents? 50 Cent featuring Nickelback. Oh, those are dumb. Okay. Well, here we go. Finishing up the gap fairings, finishing up riveting them to the skins. And you will notice on a couple of them where the ailerons and the flap brackets are, you kind of have to turn your squeezer around so it fits, but that's not a big deal. It's just a deal. So have fun finishing watching the video. As always, like and subscribe. Talk to you guys later. So I like the big one on the skin side and the smaller one on the shop head rivet side. Just because I can see it, so I can line it up, but I don't want to be off. And since I can't see it, that's why.
So just real quick, before the video actually ends, those rivet sets, I'll show you here, you can get them from Aircraft Tool Supply in any diameter and any length you could possibly imagine. There's a ton of them out there. So find the one that fits for you and works for you and use it. So that's the end. Have fun, enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe, share this site with all your friends. Talk to you later. See ya.